Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at AdvaMed, the MedTech Conference 2012 here in Boston, Massachusetts. Right next to me is Rocky Ganske of CellAegis Devices, a private company. Rocky, welcome to SNNLive.
Well, thank you, Shelley, for having us here today.
It's good to have you. Now, let's get right into it, Rocky boy. Tell me about CellAegis.
So CellAegis Devices is a medical device company based out of Toronto, Canada. We have a medical device that delivers a therapy. It's a therapy that, when attached to the body, reduces the size of a heart attack by 50%. This therapy is called remote ischemic conditioning. Remote ischemic conditioning represents a $4 billion new market in North America alone. It's also been shown to protect all organs, solid organs in the body. And we have our CE mark in Europe for the device. It's a very simple device. And it actually brings forward the innate mechanisms in our body to protect the organs within our body.
How does that work?
Well, it's a technology that was first described 25 years ago by a guy named Murray, where they were doing work inside of the cardiac surgery and would clamp off some of the peripheral arteries around the heart, and found that when you did that, you actually, by creating periods of ischemia or no blood flow and then reperfusion or blood flow, they saw outcomes that were better in those hearts that they did that. Sometime later, there was a group of scientists that actually found that you could take organs that were distal from the heart, like kidney and gut, make them ischemic, and also improve the outcomes in the heart. And then it was a group of researchers led by Raj Karbanda and Andrew Reddington, that because all this previous science was good science and the subject of over 5,000 scientific papers, that it wasn't clinically feasible. It wasn't feasible to find someone clutching their chest in an elevator and then have to zip them open to be able to try to help them. So they found that if you make a limb ischemic, whether a leg or an arm, and create that ischemia there, you could still have that same cardioprotective factors that were released. We later went on with a first-in-man study where we actually did a study in the back of an ambulance, 330 patients. The study was done in Denmark. It was the late-breaking trial, American Heart Association, 2 years past. And they found that the treated group and the untreated group, in addition to everything else that was done for them in the hospital from their heart attack, they had between 40 and 60% less myocardial damage if you were one of the treated group.
How does it work? Show me. You have a product here?
So this is actually our first iteration product. And this particular product consists of two components. First is a rechargeable device that is reusable and sits inside the surgery center in the back of the ambulance. Then there's a disposable cuff, same cuff size as any blood pressure cuff, and they come in all the different sizes. You simply take this device, you'd put it about somebody's arm. It would go up on the forearm, but for demonstration purposes, we'll put it here. And then this simply clips into the device. You then just need to push the start button and walk away. It takes 5 minutes that it takes to close off the blood flow. It lets it go for 5 minutes and repeats that 4 times. So the automation of this protocol, because you can do what we do today with a blood pressure cuff and a stopwatch, but you can't deliver that in the clinic. In the clinic, you want to make sure that you aren't using 40 minutes of a clinician's time, that you're providing the safety of not walking away and finding out that you come back to an amputee. So we sell safety, convenience, and cost savings.
So you would actually put this on someone's forearm,
on their bicep.
On their bicep, and what does that do?
So what it does is it shuts off the blood flow.
Right.
And when you release that, what you're doing is triggering some of the innate processes our body has. So some of these are neuronal, relative to sensing, and some of them are hormonal, relative to actual protective mechanisms that are being released.
What's your background?
My background actually is in engineering, so I only play a doctor on TV, so I let other people do that. But I've been doing medical devices and medical technologies for over 35 years.
What's your website?
Our website is CellAegis.com, or www.CellAegis.com.
Okay, so Rocky, why are you at AdvaMed?
So CellAegis is here, and I'm here at AdvaMed this week for really two reasons. One is to make the general medical device community aware of CellAegis, but also to send the message that of where CellAegis is in this process right now. So as of today, CellAegis has our CE mark and can sell our device in Europe. We have put in our application for approval of a license in Health Canada, and we are starting our US FDA trials the end of this year after we have some additional conversations with the FDA. We are involved in very large studies in Europe. The one that we're involved in right now is a 350 ambulances, 2,400 patients on long-term outcomes. What we're really trying to do is open up each of these markets, Europe first, then the US, so that those markets are open and ready for any of the medical device manufacturers that we're talking to, and we're having those meetings here at AdvaMed this week.
I have Rocky Ganske of CellAegis Devices. It's a private company. We're at AdvaMed, the MedTech Conference 2012 in Boston. Thanks again for coming on to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley, for the opportunity.
Anytime. Thanks.
Great.